Greetings, and welcome to another debrief of the Redacted Party chat. This is Vaughn, got Adrian and Brandyn joining us again. How's everyone doing?
Doing good. How are you?
Been better, but we're here. Brandyn?
I'm doing good. Can't complain.
Sweet. Okay, we're going to jump right into it, but first, check out our socials. We got them all set up. Content's flowing. Follow, like, share it. Tell your friends. We'll love you forever.
But only the cool ones. What a bunch of nerds in here.
Well, no.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Start like we always do. What everyone's been playing. We will go with you, Adrian.
Okay. I am still playing Returnal. I just thoroughly enjoy that game. I think I talked about it plenty last time, but I just think the movement, honestly, that's one of the biggest things. It just lets me be hypermobile. And then just as I've been going, discovering more and more things. It's like the fun of the beginning of any roguelike before it becomes, I don't want to say a chore, but it's like if you're playing something like Binding of Isaac and you've unlocked 99% of the items, you're really just doing runs, praying for that RNG. So I'm still in that like honeymoon phase of Returnal, where it's like every time I play, I unlock something cool, something new, something different, and something to try out, so I can get excited for either just continuing that run or future runs. I played a little bit of Dead Space. You guys were there for that. That game is super fucking scary.
The Dead Space remake, by the way.
Yeah, I was gonna say, obviously I played the originals, but the remake does change stuff up enough. I don't know. I'm pretty sure I remember properly. I don't think I'm a fan of how they're doing the whole, and I get why they're doing it because it's for balancing. I don't know if I like the whole having to find like additional, like essentially the ability to unlock more upgrade slots for the weapon. So it's like the original just kind of lets you get nodes and go for it. It looks like the remake is trying to fix it as like a matter of pacing. Let's be honest, they know the plasma cutter's busted. So they just implemented like you guys obviously saw me play. It's like I can only unlock so many. Then I have to find the thing that allows me to unlock more nodes on the plasma cutter so that by chapter 3, I don't just have a completely maxed out plasma cutter and just start fucking everything up. I get why you're doing that, but don't tell me how to play the game. Essentially, if I want to, I know the gun's busted. The gun's busted. I will applaud them for not altering the gun itself, making it weak. It's like you're just trying to stagger how quickly I can unlock everything on it. But I'm also a fan of letting people play however they want to play. If I choose to break the game, essentially, let me do it. It's my choice. Why do you care?
That's fair.
But it's still fun. Still amazing. Looks amazing. I've been scared multiple times already off of slight changes they've made to it. So that's always a pleasant surprise. So it's not going to just be the same thing over again. And then I pretty much like started Crow Country. I can't even say that I played much of it, but I kind of started it. Super fun aesthetic, almost like that chibi N64 style, almost like if you've ever played, well, even like Final Fantasy for like the PlayStation, like that era of art style, which is I just think is really cool. Obviously, I grew up at that time frame, but honestly, that specific style was more relegated to more kid style games, and I always think it's fun to see unconventional art styles being used for genres. You know, most people wouldn't associate almost cutesy art style with a pretty serious horror game. And I think they did really well. And I always find that thing really, really fun. Kind of trying out new aesthetics on genres that just traditionally you wouldn't think to add that aesthetic to it. So
yeah, that story goes to some dark places. So I think you're going to
Yes.
enjoy that one.
Are you playing that on PlayStation?
Yeah. It's
Really? I've never even heard of this game.
I'm always on YouTube, and I watch. There's a guy, Avalanche Gaming, or Avalanche Reviews, and he's much more analytical than I could ever hope to be. But his one of his biggest things is Resident Evil and like Resident Evil style, like survival horror games, and he's very diehard traditionalist, and it's kind of been cool watching him kind of shift his values over time, because before he was real hardcore about it, and he's kind of opened up to the idea of different styles. And he does every once in a while he'll release a video with a bunch of Resident Evil like, or survival horror games that are in that vein.
He was very hardcore, only Resident Evil, you're saying?
He was
Or
very
that
hard.
style of survival horror?
He was very hardcore into that style. So it was like whenever a game would say it was Resident Evil like, he would be like, essentially he had set values for what made a game not only Resident Evil like, but survival horror, period. And then just as he's gone through his series of playing through a bunch of different games on like Steam. Obviously, Steam has a massive selection. You could just type in whatever word you're looking for and get so many games. It's just watching it, and I saw it on there, which is what got me excited. I just came across it on PlayStation. I just so happened to come across it. But I was like super excited when I saw it on there, because I was like, I remember seeing this game, because a lot of the games, it's a lot of games are Steam, PC, laptop, which I have. I could run it on my laptop, but for the most part, I try to keep most of my limited funds requires me to limit where I spend my money as of now. And it's like, if I buy a game, I'd rather it be on my PlayStation than my computer. So, but that's really it for me.
Cool. We can jump to you, Brandon.
I'm playing Batman still.
No way. What happened with that?
Previously on
Redacted Party Chat.
And then I already did all the campaigns and all the, what do they call it, the Riddler's Revenge. It's all the combat and Predator challenges. Yeah. Done. It's all done. So I just got a New Game Plus, a little side quest in New Game Plus, and I'm out of there.
As it turns out, Batman Arkham City, you cannot go into New Game Plus off of easy mode. So I was on easy mode because this was already the, 47th time I've 100% of the game. So I was like, I got nothing to prove. I'll just put it on easy mode and demolish this game. 100%ed it. Couldn't go to New Game Plus, so I can't get those trophies. So I've 100%ed it again on normal mode. And I'm not proud of it. But
mad lad.
I
Determination. Trophy hunting. That's what you got to do.
Yeah, so a few times, though, outside of that madness, I play Battlefield some more. That's pretty much what I'll go to when I'm not hearing, hey, diddle, want to solve a riddle? But Battlefield's still sick. It's getting cooler. They just dropped the Battle Royale, a new map.
Oh, they put a Battle Royale in that.
Yeah, I haven't
played
made
that.
Sense.
It made sense.
Yeah. I haven't played it yet. We tried to play it the other night, but I think the servers were just bad. We couldn't get in. So we played on the new map. Dude, it was so cool. The new map is essentially just kind of a big open field. It's an oil field. It's very, very tank-oriented. And me and Nate, we're dying. We hop in the tank. He's driving. I'm in the gunner. Dude, we literally checkmated the whole map took this point, that point, that point, that point. The whole team has rallied around us, took over the entire match. So sick. And it's cool because we're looking at our scoreboard and it's like, we didn't really get that many kills, but it was the kills that mattered. Like literally those 7 kills, those 10 kills, checkmate. Took the whole match.
And you might not know, and I could obviously just look it up. Does Battlefield do like skill-based matchmaking? Do you know?
Off the top of my head, I don't know.
I don't think so. I don't think that type of multiplayer is built for it, especially with the server-based options where you can kind of choose what server you go into. It kind of eliminates the need for skill-based matchmaking. But I'm not gonna. Don't quote me.
I'm looking at it. It says it is a minor factor in it. It's essentially you're right, and it's too big for it. So really, they prioritize ping, location, and server availability. So they pretty much they grab a group of people and then they use the skill base to essentially balance teams out after they've already grabbed from the pool. But it's not like you're not going to get to play because you're too good or too bad or whatever. So, which is I'm always a fan of non-skill based matchmaking because that's relatively a new thing that everybody wants to implement, and it's just lame. It's whack. So you do good once or twice, and then now you're fucked. You got all the sweaty kids, all the 12-year-olds with nothing else to do. Which by all means, I was that 12-year-old, and I'm happy for them. But it's like, bro, I got limited time.
My brother, I was at his house, and I'm playing For Honor on his account, and I left. He called me like, bro, don't ever touch my account ever again. I'm like, why? He's like, bro, I'm playing with nothing but sweaties now. I can't even hit these guys. I was like, dude, I only played like 5 or 6 matches. He's like, it's all ruined.
It's all ruined.
It's all ruined.
I gotta lose 100 matches now to reset the system.
It's terrible. But yeah, outside of that, Batman Chokehold, and then Battlefield. Nothing really outside of that. No real new developments on any of it.
Cool. That leaves me. Mine is also kind of uneventful. Still playing Battlefield and still playing Ghosts of Yotei. I did finish the main story of Yotei, so now it's just doing all the cleanup, getting all those trophies. I do have also good news for Battlefield. I only have one more trophy for the platinum on that, and it is the revives. So I just need to revive 1,300 more people, and then
Jesus,
the platinum
Vaughn's gonna
will
be
be mine.
like tomorrow. He's gonna be like done.
Yeah, as the support class. So I'm going to exclusively be playing as that.
Vaughn is the opposite of the Grim Reaper. The dude is waiting for you to die so he could deny death.
Hacksaw Ridge, just give me one more, Lord. One more.
Yeah. It's miserable. So, because you can see the people that are also trying to get it as well, and it's just like full on Olympic sprinting to every person with their back to the ground and arm up in the air. So I'm like kicking people out of my way. I'm like, I don't care. There's a tank. Like, I need to bring you back to life. I need this. So,
do you think you'll still play it after the platinum?
Oh yeah. This is just to get rid of my ADHD and not have to think about them. So, yeah, that's about it. Nothing kind of tunnel vision with these two. So I should be able to knock at least Yotei Platinum out this week. I think Battlefield's going to be slightly longer.
So did Yotei, like the ending of it, did it have a similarly emotional impact as the end of Sushi Wednesday?
On a different wavelength, but yes, there were still some good emotional parts. it didn't hit as hard as Tsushima, of course, but I didn't think it had to. This was mainly just a revenge story, and I don't want to downplay that because they did a really good job with it. But by the end, I'm like, okay, yeah, that's suitable for her character, and it makes sense where it went.
Overall, you liked it though?
Yeah, it was good. It made improvements compared to the first game justifiable in the purchase. I think the bounties and the side stories made up for a lot of my apprehension at first. Just the weirdness that they throw. Like I had a side mission the other day where it was like horror themed, where I was in like a haunted part of the map and I had to collect keys, and there's just this samurai that would appear behind me randomly with like jump scare music and everything. So yeah, they kind of do a bunch of weird different things that you don't expect this game to have. So yeah, I recommend. I don't know if I recommend it at full price right now with everything that's out, but if you have the extra funds, it's not a waste. That's it for what we've been playing. We can jump right into the topics. It is Halloween, so we went down the route of some spooky, scary topics. The first one. How can survival horror games as a genre move past the archetypal formats of Dead Space, Resident Evil, and Amnesia? And this was Brandon's question. So, would you like to elaborate?
Yeah. So I was thinking a lot about, even when I was watching Adrian play Dead Space, and then watching you play Chronos, and those games being the distance away that they are, and we're still leaning towards like the Dead Space remake. It's like nothing has really changed. Even the new Resident Evil games, they're good. They're really good, but let's even take Resident Evil 7 and 8. Gameplay-wise, you're still clunky and limited, and shooting is serviceable. And then you have the flip side, the Amnesia, Outlast kind of games.
The fucking
I don't like those at all, personally. It was cool the first time with Outlast.
Yeah.
I played through it. It was cool. I loaded up Outlast 2, and a disclaimer pops up and says, "You and your wife are not fighters." I was like, this is getting out of hand. You mean to tell me you're never going to pick up even the pitchfork? Come on. It's too silly. And I get it. It's, jump scare, loud, scary, blah, blah, blah. And it's really good for streaming, and they're cheap to make. Like, I totally get that. It's just they're lame. However, though, I do think there are two games that I can think of that did evolve things in a pretty substantial way and went in routes that I think horror needs to go in. And that is Alien Isolation and The Evil Within 2. So
Evil Within.
Yeah, so Evil Within 2 specifically, what I really loved about that game was your perk tree is you're leveling up your ways to survive. So if you want to run, upgrade your sprint. If you want to stand and fight with a shotgun, do that. If you want to hide, if you want to do this, if you want to be long range, if you want to do traps, but you're choosing really one way to go. So that way you can get efficient in the style in which you want to play. And even by the end of Evil Within 2, you're still in survival horror mode. It doesn't turn into Resident Evil where it's just a espionage war game by the end. It's still horror all the way up to the credits roll. That was something I really appreciated about that game. Alien Isolation, that AI is crazy. And it's technically in that Outlast-esque framework, but it's an evolved version of it. The alien reacts to you. You have a flamethrower that it reacts to. The AI robots are reacting. It feels so alive and not static, and you don't feel completely helpless, even though you are in a situation that is believably helpless. Xenomorph is terrifying. It's not some satanic farm man. That's lame. I'll fight you. A xenomorph, I'll think twice.
I think they did a phenomenal job, just offhand, with the xenomorph in general, just from a like canonical sense, I guess you would call it. Which I get why it changed. It was kind of like the trend of the time that the second movie lead more to an action type of feel. They did the same thing with Terminator, where the first one is, by all accounts, like a full-blown, like, kind of horror movie, and the second one leans into more of a action type of feel, where the first alien is just one alien. It is a single alien, and even within that universe, aliens are supposed to be the perfect killing machine. They're supposed to be incredibly hard to kill. Like, conventional weapons aren't supposed to work on them pretty much at all. There is, and that's what they did a good job of. Your gun has no effect because it wouldn't have an effect. The only reason the Marines were able to do anything is because they had high-powered firepower. You're not fighting this thing physically at all. Alien versus Predator fucked the game up with that, where it makes them look dainty and frail because the Predator is snatching them up, but a human being stands zero chance against your standard xenomorph. And I really enjoyed that they went that route with it, where it is dangerous. It is very, very dangerous if you are not prepared for that encounter.
It's really cool too, because the way that AI operates is really crazy. Like, you cannot just sit in a locker and hide like you can in all the other games, where you can just sit there. Oh, I'm safe now.
Outlast is a prime example of that.
Yeah, it's coming for you. The alien will eventually find you. So it's forcing you into this cat and mouse where you need to be just as effective and predator minded as the alien to survive. Like, window of opportunity, you need to shoot. And that's so cool for that style of game. And it's just, I get that it's difficult, but it's just, that game is, 2014? Come on. It's in the same category as like a Shadow of War or something. It's just this idea or this technology. Well, Shadow of War, I guess, is a little weird because they patent that whole system, but that's neither here nor there. But point is, these ideas will be out there, and the industry time and time again will just take the easy route. And horror, I think, is maybe suffering the most from it. Like, Chronos is cool, but I was watching that, and there's just no way I'll play that game. That is brutally just old looking.
Yeah.
But I digress. I'd like to hear what you guys think.
Yeah, I'd agree. We've kind of stagnated in today's horror genre. I think more developers need to branch out and kind of think outside the box of, like we said, Dead Space, the inventory management of Resident Evil, which is fun to those that love Resident Evil, like all of us. But we need to do better. And there's plenty of ideas out there. Like, what if? I know we talked about the Nemesis system, but why don't we just take like a chunk of that maybe and adapt it to maybe the Evil Within portion, where you're speccing in a certain way, and then you start to see the horror aspects adapt to that, kind of how like the Alien adapts to what you're doing. Mm-hmm. Like, what if the system knows that you spec'd into stamina, so it's going to do more stamina based things, or the world has enough RNG where it's like, okay, well, you're going to have to do more climbing and more enemies to interact with. I think we need to maybe go down the route of more adaptability in game now that we're kind of plateaued with graphics. Like, things aren't going to look much better, so it's all about the mechanics. So use some of that AI and have it do stuff on the fly that kind of throws you for a loop. It doesn't have to be narratively driven. It can be just mechanically driven.
And I think of another game actually that does a really good job of this is The Forest and Sons of the Forest. That is a scary game. The first time those cannibals run up to you,
They're
and
just
then
looking
take
at
off
you.
running back into the woods. It's like, oh, that's a different energy. I've never experienced that in a horror. Yeah, that's different. That thing felt.
Yucky.
It's not just, I'm the bad guy coming for you now. It's like the alien. I remember watching you play that for the first time, and Vaughn was locked in, dude. No eyelids. Just he pulls out the flamethrower, and the alien walks up and steps back, and then reached over and smacked him. I'm like, dude, what just happened? He's like, I've used the flamethrower too many times on him. He learned. I'm like, oh, dude, I don't know if I can play this. That's too much.
Yeah.
But it's like that. Because the problem with horror games is once you get past, I would argue, this is why Dead Space is an exception, but for the most part, once you get past those first handful of hours and you understand the enemy patterns, it really isn't scary anymore. You know how it operates, you know their ticks, you know how it all works. Now you're in the motions and you're there for the enjoyment. But you need, like you're saying, you need that adaptability.
And I think that's ultimately the conclusion I came to as well. I was pretty much going to say on the money what he was saying, but just kind of to add to it, obviously there's different play styles you're looking for in terms of how your game plays, period. Looking at the isolation as compared to an Evil Dead, an Evil Within. And obviously that's going to determine how you implement those systems. I think I think the reason that we're kind of seeing that stagnation, obviously, other than it working from an industry standpoint, is kind of the base set of human fears that are the most common of fears. Imitation of another being. So that's where you see stuff like Dead Space and any kind of game that plays with the human form. Evil Within, obviously one of them. I mean, zombies in general, it plays on the whole idea of it's human, but it's not human. The overall claustrophobia. That's why a lot of games are tight. Which Evil Within does play on. Like you said, you can do stuff like kind of spec into running away, but there is a limit to the point where it no longer becomes like, for example, what was it? Days Gone. Days Gone stopped being a horror game, pretty much right when I perfected the art of like bouncing. Like they gave me almost. I love that game. But in terms of like if someone were to claim it's a horror game, I could see where they're coming from. But in reality, for me, it was more of a survival game. There wasn't really any fear to it. Yeah, there were situations where I caught myself in some real shit situations. But for the most part, my ability to flee was so prevalent that it no longer became scary because I parked they had a couple nests that were underground. And it's like, that was scary. I had to go underground, had to be careful, had to essentially pack everything I was going to take with me because there wasn't no backing out, but I parked my bike right outside the exit. So if shit went south, I could run, jump on my bike and bounce, just be out of there. So you do have to kind of balance those abilities. The other thing I would say for adaptability as well is it would have to be seamless, or try to make it as seamless as you can. So using what Vaughn said and using the Evil Within systems and Alien Isolation, I think those are some of the best things to compare. I don't want the game to adapt because of my selections. I want the game to adapt because of my actions. So if I pick, say I spec into stamina, right? Spec into stamina, but I'm not running. I'm shooting, doing shooting. I don't want the game to adapt just because I spec'd into those slots. I don't want faster enemies because I want faster enemies because I spec'd into stamina. I mean, because I'm running away. So it's like, however you would calculate that, if it's like average distance between you and the enemies at any given point in time calculated, and then the game adapts based upon that. So it's like, if I spec into stamina, but I'm standing and fighting, I expect to see heavier enemies because the game's used to me fighting. But then I just run. So now the game has to adapt to that. It's like, oh, you know what I mean? Because it's that makes it too easy to anticipate what the game's going to do. It eliminates that aspect
Right.
of how is the game going to keep up with my decisions if I know, well, if I put 3 points into speed, then I know that the game's going to increase the average speed of the enemy by about 20%. It's like it lets me already know.
Right, because then you're almost dictating what the AI
Yeah,
is going to do.
I can tell the
that.
game how the game is going to play based upon my
That's interesting.
selections, but the game's not in it because you look at games, you know, and you could use in systems not like that have been implemented, but I think a good way that you could implement something like that, you know, kind of like I said, you can different metrics being calculated at any given time. Look at oddly enough, Oblivion, games like Oblivion, or games that do level up systems based upon your actions. So like I'm jumping a bunch, so I get more into acrobatics. I'm hiding more, so I get sneak. You know, those kind of systems a lot of people don't realize is you can utilize certain systems for multiple things, and I think that would probably be one of the more effective ways, and still all going off based on how the game's supposed to play, because you couldn't implement that in a Dead Space style game because there's really not a whole lot of variance in your play style. Now, Dead Space does a phenomenal job of adding adaptability by adding like the venting that the enemies do. The enemies will actively vent to different locations. They'll jump in the vent and they'll try to sneak up from behind you. If you run out of the room, they don't just wait by the door for you to kill them. Like even when I was playing, it's like, you know, I'd close the door and go back, and it's like the necromorph is like halfway down the hallway. He's looking for a fucking vent or something so he could come get me. It's like that's scary as shit, but that's, you know, a good example of how in that specific play style where massive variation really isn't something that you could do, you can still find ways for the enemies to, and that's very rudimentary. That's very unsophisticated AI. It's just pathfinding, you know, to your location after the enemy has seen you. And, you know, they have paths outside of the traditional paths you can take to get to you. It's very smart though. It's, you know, it's very well done. But I think adaptability is just 100% the name of the game when it comes to that and how you implement it. You also don't want to do it in, I don't want to say an unfair way, but I think that would fall into what I was saying before. I was like, I don't think it'd be fair for the game to just know. I want the game to learn.
I think it would depend on the type of game that you're in. Like if you're in an open world game, you could do more of that unfair stuff based on region. But if you're like in a corridor based game, then it has to be really tailored. Game wise.
Oh, sorry.
No, you go.
Made me think of the AI director from Left 4 Dead.
Oh,
you guys remember that?
Yeah, the whole system they had set up.
So if everybody's doing really good and everybody's got these weapons and blah, 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 and we're going this way, okay, we're going to throw a tank at you. Or now there's 2 witches in the hallway.
Just more special enemies in general.
Yeah, it's adapting to your skill level. Yeah, there's a, what's that game called? It's just sent you guys the sequel, Dark Woods.
Yeah.
That's a unique game too. That it kind of has the Mark of the Ninja system where, so it's top down and you can only see which way you're looking. So if you're running and you're not looking this way, you don't know what's behind you. Excuse me. I've had some really, like, that game's actually horrifying. It's kind of not even like fun to play. It's miserable. I've had some genuinely scary moments in that. But once again, it's because it's reactive to you.
Right.
Truly, like that AI is reactive. I've kind of grown, just kind of bored of a lot of horror stuff coming out anymore.
Well, the hardest part is maintaining the human element. And I think that is like the biggest thing. It's, you don't want to be Outlast where you are, you know, human beings survive one way or another. I mean, that's why the whole fight or flight thing exists. And it's like, I don't want to be a human being that can only take flight. You know, it's like that's not human. If I was backed into a corner, I just wouldn't let somebody beat me to death with a rusty pipe. But at the same time, I don't want to be a fucking, well, I mean, obviously depending on the game, but it's like, it also takes you out of the horror element when you're a war god by fucking, 2 hours into the game and you're unstoppable killing machine. It's, like kind of how the Resident Evil, like I could say 5 and 6. It's like, you're pretty much unstoppable by the third chapter, whereas at least Resident Evil 4 maintained that horror element up until, I think damn near up until you get to like the castle. You're pretty at least on your toes. So I think that's the hardest part is kind of balancing that, and there is no perfect answer. And just saying, because adaptability is the name of the game, but it's like how you do that, and it's not easy. I'm not going to sit here and pretend it's easy. There is, as someone who did game design for a couple of years and has tried his hand at coding even simplistic things, like a system like that there's a reason those systems, like the AI system for Left 4 Dead and Alien Isolation, there's a reason they're praised so highly. It is very complex. There's a lot of thought that goes into that. Shit looks like Charlie Day's board in the mailroom. That shit looks crazy if you actually go see those guys talking. They were on some shit.
Yeah. And also, for what it's worth, I haven't looked too deeply in because I'm trying to go in as blind as possible, but I think I did hear that Resident Evil 9 does have some kind of overhauled AI system going on with it. So there is that. Dino Crisis, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I think the psychological aspect isn't used enough, like psychological horror. I think we've kind of gone down the route of jump scares and just grotesque, gross creatures, which that's part of why Chronos was pulling me in as much as it did. Like, it does a lot of weird, almost Dead Spacey 3 stuff where you're not sure if it's actually in front of you or not, and it's kind of like flashing back and forth between, I don't want to say different realities, but like psychological trauma. So I think more games need to get away from, oh, this thing's just big and gross looking, or this thing popped up in front of your view and, oh, you're scared now. We're a horror game. Like, no, give me some messed up stuff that I really have to think about. Like, wow, am I going to go over there or not? Like, just stuff like that.
Yeah, that's why I think. Oh, go ahead.
I'll say it, dude. Fucking Event Horizon.
I was just thinking that as you guys were talking before.
Shit, do it, you cowards. That'll give you everything.
That Hellraiser game.
Oh yeah.
That Hellraiser game is gonna be.
Excited.
I'll watch you play that. Yeah, I'll watch you play.
I'll watch you.
I'm not gonna play that. That's too much.
I mean,
but that's why I think Evil Within 2 kind of specifically hits that so well, because it's giving you the fight or the flight, and it's playing with where you are in the food chain constantly. So it's like, oh, I could definitely dog these guys, but that creepy 8-foot tall grudge woman, I can't fight that. I have to run. And then it's like, oh man, I didn't perk enough into sprinting, and now this is actually like a stressful situation. That's just so cool, like playing with that. I need to replay that game. That game is extremely underrated.
Still
it's
looks
like one of the best
good.
survival horror games. Yeah, it's one of the best survival horror games ever, flat out.
Cool. Anything else we want to touch on with that one?
No. I've said my piece.
No.
Cool.
Yeah.
Topic 2. This one came from various party chats that we had. We were kind of just crafting our ideal game and what we thought would be fun. So I figured, why not we bring up a topic of a Frankenstein nature? So what elements of various games would you put together in a Frankenstein-like way to be your perfect game? It was my question, so I'll start. Having played Bloodborne and being utterly obsessed with it, and then Sekiro, and then most recently Lies of P, I think a combination of those three would be amazing for me, because you could have like the gothic architecture of Bloodborne, and then the verticality that you could get with the grapple that Sekiro gave you, and you're just like climbing these buildings, and then the weapon system of Lies of P, where you're putting different pieces and parts together to craft your weapon, and they each have their own unique ability, so you're kind of making your own combos. So it's almost like an evolution of Bloodborne's trick weapon, but you're crafting your own trick weapons to go on the hunt.
That's actually sick.
Did you guys play Lies of P? It's the closest to Bloodborne.
I haven't played Lies of P yet.
All right. Yeah, so the weapon system in that is you find like a general weapon, like a handle, and then like a blade portion of it. And then as you find more, you can mix and match them. So you can have benefits of the handle of one and then the benefits of the blade on another. So you could have like a handle that has fire damage, but then a long, like huge katana-like blade on that, and that has like bleed. So you're doing like different weapon attributes on enemies. So I think putting that as a natural evolution of the trick system in Bloodborne, with the verticality of a grapple, like you're grappling up these giant cathedrals and killing monsters as you go up.
That would be extremely cool.
That would be fucking gross, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm game for that. I'm down for that.
That does open up crazy possibilities, because I love Sekiro so much, dude. The flow of Sekiro is still, combat-wise and flow, it's still my favorite FromSoft on that level.
Put the parry system from that in this game too. Like, let me be able to like parry things as I'm running. Like, that'd be crazy.
Ooh.
That's crazy. What would be had you ever thought about like what the I guess aesthetic, or kind of, is it a Bloodborne 2 or
off the top of my head, it'd probably be a Bloodborne 2. Like, maybe a different part of that world that maybe is just introducing the tainted blood, and they don't know what's going on. So then you're just playing this character that's learning on the fly. So
yeah,
like, oh, this giant hairy beast is climbing our huge building. Like, okay, like, and you're pulling yourself up. Crazy.
Yeah, that'd be sick. I always used to think, like, for a Bloodborne 2, it'd be really cool to have, a Yharnam equivalent, but then the outskirts, you could be an explorable forest and make it more co-op to where you are the hunters, like us three all together, and we have like almost like a headless horseman kind of carriage that we're all riding around in and shooting monsters out and hopping out and just hacking Lovecraftian monsters up.
Yeah.
That'd be so sick.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Maybe one day.
I'd buy that game.
Yeah.
I'd buy it with my money.
Buy it twice.
Well, when this shit blows up, we'll just open our own studio.
Oh, dude.
They'll have blackjack and hookers.
Yeah, that was mine.
Yeah. I can go. Hear me out. Hear me out.
never a good thing when that starts with that, but okay.
It's a Batman game.
Oh, Jesus.
I promise this isn't because I'm brainwashed.
Thanks
right
for
now.
joining us, everyone. Got a short episode.
Hear me out. It's a Batman game with the structure of Metal Gear Solid 5 and the Nemesis system. So stick with me. You start the game as Batman running around in a ski mask and just you're nothing. You have no gadgets or anything. That's what your R&D and Fox are for. So now I unlock the grapple hook. Now I unlock the suit, and I'm building the Batman. Right? You're in Gotham. What I would have the Nemesis system be is essentially it's operating for not just the criminals, but also for the citizens. So if I want to be more in line with Val Kilmer and pull up to the scene in the Batmobile and the news and everybody's, yay, Batman, you know, like I'm a celebrity, I'm the Batman, then I get access to more people helping me on cases. Maybe I get a tip off, hey, Batman, I heard that this crime, blah, 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 over here, right? But if I go down the Dark Knight route, where I'm brutalizing people in dark alleyways, even the citizens are more afraid of me. And now detective work is more difficult. Now I'm actually having to investigate stuff without necessarily the help of other people. You could also, so like, for example, say you arrest Two-Face, take him to Blackgate, and then you're focusing on the Penguin and a new random mob boss that has sprung up. And that time you take, and the time you take focusing on one criminal group, the Nemesis system's building this one up. You know what I mean? So Two-Face is in jail, I'm focusing on Penguin, and now Two-Face's goons are getting stronger. They break him out of jail. Now you're in this situation where it's an endless gameplay loop of, oh man, I need to upgrade the Batmobile so I can chase Two-Face down the street. Oh, he actually got away, blah, 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 blah. And now you're in this endless Batman simulator. Make it. It's perfect.
I think that's the most disappointing part of the Nemesis system, in that it's locked down to just those two games, in that there's so many endless possibilities that you could do, and it wouldn't even have to be Warner Brothers games. Like, you could do crazy things.
Here's another tidbit, because I had to write a lot of this stuff down because I was kind of going crazy with it. So like how in Shadow of War, you would pick off so you're trying to find the warlord. So then you have to go interrogate the captain, and then you have to go to this guy who's a blood brother. You could do the same thing and just turn that into a detective system. So it's like, oh, okay, well, I'm at the crime scene. This guy left a little bit of evidence, which leads me to this low-level criminal in the alleyway. I hold him upside down. Batman, you scared the shit out of me, dude. You scare him to death. Boom, he gives you tipped off to this guy, to that guy, and then you're at the mob boss, or whatever. Dude, it'd be perfect. It'd be perfect. And then you could have the buddy system, just like Metal Gear Solid, where maybe I want to bring Robin, maybe I want to bring Batgirl, maybe the Batmobile is what I'm taking this time.
Yep.
Never hurts to bring a car as a sidekick.
I would never bring a person.
Fuck no, dude. The Batman can control the car from, like, his wrist. There's been multiple situations where he's just hit people with the car. It's like, oh no, what am I gonna do? Bane, he's like, a fucking car. How about that, stupid? And then just hits him with a car.
Mr. Freeze's wife is on my side. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, sorry if I was stuttering at all through that.
You were just excited.
Dude,
you're like a man, professing his love to his crush over there. You're like,
dude, it's perfect. It makes me sick. Right? Because they just need to drop the Arkham thing. Like, the next option is either you better make a Batman Beyond game or that. That's it. Make a Batman Gotham Knight.
Fun little, like, tidbit. Because Arkham is like obviously you were talking about like the supernatural undertones of Arkham in that game, and Arkham is like, the crazy bit. Yeah. Arkham is initially like the concept of like Arkham prison / asylum came from Lovecraft. Mm-hmm. It was a Lovecraft thing, and I just think it's fun that I don't want to use recycle, but it always is nice to see that like homage to just older works, and then they even have like the Batman Lovecraft essentially crossover movie / comics. So I just like that. I like when people take little stuff like that, and then Batman's one of those characters that you can really throw into any situation, and it kind of works, kind of makes sense.
Is the goat.
Told you, dude. I've been telling people that for years. Nobody wants to hear it, but it's hate it or love it. He's that guy. He's that guy.
I'm sick to my stomach, dude. In the last 2 years, I've gotten into anime and now comics.
I've been telling you this shit for years, so I'm not gonna be that guy that's like, well, you ain't even like. I'm not gonna gatekeep you, but I'm just saying, It's about fucking time.
I'm not gonna say I
dude.
told you so, but
We both told you so.
Yeah, like a lot of times, a lot of times, dude. It's like I'm into comics. It's like I'm just happy you're here, but at the same time, like, yeah, this shit's cool, dude.
It is extremely cool. Extremely cool.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's my dream Batman game that'll never come out. So that's mine.
2 out of 3 depressed. Your turn, Adrian. Join us.
Mine is, I don't know why it kind of came to me. I'm a huge sucker for robots and destructible environments. Give me I would like, so essentially in the style of Armored Core 6, robots, we're talking of that scale. I don't want it to be a fighting game, but I want a kaiju game where you essentially you're in an active campaign against various, so like I essentially like Helldivers-esque.
Pacific Rim.
Yeah, multiple different kinds of threats, where it can be anything, and there's like a little Warhammer influence because it's like I want threats from all sides. I want threats from fucking, another dimension, like essentially hell. You can have aliens, like in my mind I was thinking the flood, just different variations, different planets, essentially like a planet spanning campaign, much in the vein of Helldivers, which if you wanted to, you could keep it like a long running implementing system, but pretty much having to kit out your mech, and you even bring 1 or 2 people along with you for specific environments against specific enemies, and then having like the ability to reinforce planets in certain ways. So have some kind of system where it's forcing you to spend either currency or points to give yourself certain bonuses in that. So like say you're defending a planet, and for whatever reason, like say the enemy, on a scouting report, or even that, have it so that you have to spend resources to do a scouting report. It's like you do a scouting report and there's a lot of flying enemies, so now I can invest resources into anti-aircraft guns and weaponry, or maybe additional aerial support like fighter jets, so and make them very large scale battles, large destruction. One of the, I don't know why, but like one of my favorite, anything in any game or movies or whatever, one of my favorite destructive attacks is anything that just like blows up in a big line, I guess you would say. So like think Medeir's laser beam, but I love like cluster missiles. And I know like a lot of like I want to be able to essentially roll up, think Iron Man, the first Iron Man. I want to fire off one of them bad boys. That level of destructibility where, hey, we're, essentially fuck this city. We're trying to save this planet. So I will wipe this mountain range off the map if need be. Yeah, I would say have, group events in it as well. So I do love that aspect. Helldivers is one of those few games that really makes you want to participate, especially me as somebody who's like, my shit's always muted or I'm talking to you guys. I want a game that makes me want to participate and communicate and drop in and help other people and have that online aspect of it. But I would also like to do, maybe self-contained campaigns, have a set, like a grid. I know Chaos Gate has that, the Warhammer strategy game, where you essentially are balancing. You're bouncing between planets, and every time a mission comes up, there's usually three planets that have a mission on them potentially. And if you pretty much, until you get like halfway through your run, you'll only ever make it to one planet. So it's a juggling act. And then, as the planets, so it has like 5 ticks on it in that game. And so it's like, all right, you can go to this world, but if you don't go to this world, it'll get 2 ticks. Now, if I go back to that world, it's way more corrupted. the enemies are stronger. And if I wait until it's like 4 ticks, and then it's like, all right, if, once it gets to the 5th, the planet's lost. It's just a chaos world. The only thing you can do is exterminate us and destroy the planet. So, have a system like that where you can do a self-contained campaign, either yourself or you and your friends, where, there is an ultimate end goal. It does end, and you could run that, have that randomized at will, even have, conflicting factions fighting with each other. If, that might play to your benefit to let them attack each other. So add like a level of strategy to it, because as much as I do like big kaiju fighting games, or just, fucking shit up in general, I do enjoy some level of strategy, some level of planning to it. I'm a sucker for anything that kind of lets me flex the old up top muscles as well. So, yeah.
Let me fight with Godzilla in your game. Get my money. That'd be sweet.
Yeah, that's all I want to do, is be able to that, or like think. I don't know if you ever played like the Thing game, like the end where he's like just this giant gross amalgamation of flesh. It's like I would love something like that, where it's like if it gets too, depending on the unit, if it gets too out of hand, it's like it's pretty much a David versus Goliath. If it's you and 3 friends fighting a fucking mountain-sized flesh pod that's birthing other grotesque monsters into existence that are trying to counter what you're using. So
yeah, you could have MMO like events too, where like you just described, just a big boss that appeared from a different galaxy, and then you have to have multiple people join you in fighting this creature, and it lasts over X amount of time. That'd be sweet.
That actually would be really cool. Helldivers is a cool comparison with that. I'm surprised Helldivers hasn't, like, they'll have like, oh, this planet, but it would be really cool to have what you're saying, like, hey, there's a enormous monster. Like, people essentially the community has to take shifts. Like, I'm in here just fighting for our lives. You 3 worry about that sector. You 4 worry about that. We're just laying down hate. Like,
and you can even do, you can even do add elements of like, I'm trying to think of the game off the top of my head, but essentially add elements of like Overwatch command structure. So like while your friends are on the ground, you can have somebody orchestrating from a capital ship in orbit.
I was thinking about that, and I think is it Battlefield 4 where somebody could be on their tablet or on their phone, and sending drone strikes and reconning and whatnot.
I mean, you also had Metal Gear Solid. Was it Phantom? Was it? It's like the Phantom Pain, like demo type of thing. I don't know. It did get implemented technically in Phantom Pain, but you could have like the phone app and do stuff through the app. Yeah, Ground Zeroes. But it's like I did that shit, and I had, just for shits and giggles, had like Joey, be on the phone and just give me like status reports and updates. So it's like,
really? I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, so it's like I could have, I could even do that. Me be on a capital ship. I'm able to see further than you, like, and that's when I say scale.
Mm-hmm.
I can see, and it's like, hey guys, get back to the nearest resupply station or respec station. You're gonna have, you're gonna want to probably get flat guns, or you're probably gonna want to get, do this or this, or it's like fall back. I'm gonna launch an artillery bombardment to slow the enemy progress. You don't want to be in the area when I do it, and like an actual combat scenario where it's like you need to fall back so I can pepper this area because it is way too enemy dense for you to handle at this moment.
You could even take that to make it more interactive, where maybe someone has a specific recon role and they're like fighting with you on the battlefield, but then they like connect to your mech in like, I'm just going to, for lack of a better term, a Bluetooth way. And then they're doing that hovering above the battlefield. So like they're giving you information.
Active status reports.
Yeah.
And then you could do a whole bunch of stuff with it. Like I said, with like in a group events, for example, I think Argonians from Oblivion or Elder Scrolls, just because Argonians are the best fucking race. But like it happens in like Warhammer 2, where it's like, dude, fuck it. You know, you could do an event where you take it to them, because the Argonians did that in Elder Scrolls. Everybody else was being a little bitch, and they were like, the Daedra are whooping our ass, and the lizard men were not only beat their ass, but started to march into hell. And the Daedra closed the door. They were like, yo, we walked into this swamp and alligator people started rocking our world. We need to close that gate now. They're coming for us. There's not even water here. They shouldn't even like it here. Keep my eyes moist with your blood. Oh, shit. But yeah, you could do stuff. You could do stuff like that. I mean, I know, like I keep referencing Helldivers, but I think that system, I mean, that system has been implemented in a lot of places in a lot of ways, because it's just an active campaign. It keeps you actively engaged, you know, and it gives you reasons to switch up what you're doing, how you're playing, and you know, gives you reason to create community around that kind of game. In a game where community is naturally implemented, I feel like that actually builds a much stronger community in general. People want to participate. They want, and you're constantly implementing stuff that allows them to have more fun. And then if you want to just kind of chill and, you know, run a quick campaign, or, you know, with the homies, why not? You know, give me like what is it, BattleTech? Oh no, but it wasn't BattleTech. It was Robotech. Robotech essentially allowed you to switch your robot on the fly. So you could switch between a robot straight like Gundam mech suit variant. There was like a halfway variant, which looked stupid as hell always. It was like a jet with legs and a gun. And then you could be like a full jet variant. So that's another thing you could do with movement. If you wanted to implement a system like that, where it's like you have different variations of your mech to actually switch to. So it's like the mech is full firepower, whereas you can switch to some kind of, you know, actual transport variant. So you turn into just a straight jet. So you can move and have the mobility, and you have limited weapon systems now, but it allows you to get out of tougher situations where, you know, like I said, fighting might not be the most optimal solution to your problem. You might want to back out and let either somebody with better weapon systems, or let somebody from, you know, command with the highest of power weapon systems take priority on what you're doing. So I just, yeah.
On a quick little side note with the Helldivers, I feel like that is one of the more genius ways anybody's implemented live service, but they haven't reached the full potential of what that should be.
Yeah, I think a lot of that's engine based. They have great ideas for that, but if they make another similar style game, I think they'll be able to do bigger and grander things.
Yeah, I saw that they're hiring for some new project that they're doing. I definitely have my eye on whatever that is.
And that's the toughest part. Like, even with these questions, I understand it's a dream game, but like one side of me, you know, being somebody that's very familiar with just making games in general, and the other side, being an adult whose whimsy is dead inside, I can't be like, it will be really cool if you have robots and Godzilla was there and then you had a get ninjas. It's like I like, my mind can't help but kind of make a game that would work. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, I as much as I want to just throw all my dream things into a mixing pot, my brain won't let me do that without setting some limitations and being like, well, you know, let's be reasonable here. It's like I can't be fully unreasonable, because there's also a part of me that hopes that somebody does this. Maybe it'll be me. Who knows?
Yep.
Next topic. What franchise could make its way into the horror game genre and make sense thematically?
I think I'm the only one that didn't go first, so
Do
I can
it.
kick it off. All right, so when I was thinking about this question, I kind of came to the conclusion that there are tons of games that, while the whole thing doesn't fit, a change of perspective most certainly would fit you squarely into the horror genre. And it hasn't left my mind, partially because we were talking about the Flood announcement for Halo. I think a Halo game where they make the Flood scary. And whether that be from a standard Marine standpoint or military standpoint, like not Chief, or a civilian standpoint, during a Flood infestation, would be like, but really grounded down into that. I think that game would be scary as shit. Because you would have a chance, since you're focusing on that, you would have a chance to really explore like the adaptability of the Flood, because I think that is part of what detracts from their fear factor in those games, is the fact that you have like standardized Flood forms, which in universe, yes, they have kind of they have their roles, they have their classifications within the Halo universe, but it's not standardized in its mutation in like the books and stuff like that. Like it is like, it's like, yeah, that's a warrior class, but they don't all look the same. They don't all behave the same. It is a living, breathing organism that adapts in any way it sees fit. And it's like, the way I look at it is like The Thing, which that's, very much based off of that, where it's a creature that takes over bodies, but I mean, it might do something completely different and nightmarish. It's going to do something horrible. That we know. That is confirmed. 100%. It's going to be something that will keep you up for the rest of your natural born human existence if you are so fortunate / unfortunate to survive this ordeal. But that unpredictability of it and how it might do that is really what adds to that. And I think a game from that perspective would be really, really cool. But that's the one I couldn't get it out of my head. I was trying to think of other franchises as a whole. And I couldn't think of anyone that I would say as a whole would fit, just because obviously throughout all games, there's ups and downs and like thematically, like throughout the game, there's like a game might be scary as hell, but it's like, lighthearted in other parts. And I think Halo is, a game based upon a Flood invasion would do really well in terms of what it would allow you to do with horror as a whole, both psychologically and body horror wise, because the grave mine
so scary
and stuff like that, it's like, it's cosmic in scale for sure. And it can directly affect people's minds and what they do. So you could even implement that, because you don't really, the Halo games really don't explore that a whole lot. I think I talked about that before, where there's just like a whole lot they don't talk about. And I think that is something that would be super fucking cool, where they explore like, that thing can actually interact with people. I mean, they can assimilate technology even to an extent. So it's like to really get the scale, like the cosmic horror sense of it. Because when your Chief just blowing shit up, you're just blowing shit up, which is dope. But yeah, normal human being being spoken to by a creature that's pretty much as old as the birth of the universe, and it's like, that'll fuck you up and be terrible.
Oh yeah, filthy.
Disgusting.
That's a good name.
Yeah, that's awful.
How about you, Brandon?
You saying that, actually, I'm going to throw this out as an honorable mention. Gears of War, same concept.
That was another one I thought about.
Like, I always thought that would be such a cool premise to do E-Day from the perspective of civilians. I have no idea what the structure of that would be, because you are hopeless.
I would say, because you always come across horrible shit in there.
Horrible.
And a lot of times it's honestly like the wretches, and Like in context of Gears of War, the wretches are not a threat, but to a normal human being, those things are super duper dangerous.
Terrifying. That's why I'm so excited for that new Gears of War, because I've literally been thinking for years, you need to go back to Yotei. Bring back the horror vibe, make it intimate, you're tackling each other through walls in suburban houses. Like that's where that needs to be. It needs to bring back that horror vibe. But what came to my mind was Spawn. Bring Spawn. Gameplay wise, that fits ABC. You know what he does. Put him in a little open world. Play with shadows where it's like light and, if you're in the shadows, you're gaining power almost. I was thinking
the darkness.
Splinter Cell, yeah, that too. The darkness or Splinter Cell Conviction or something like that where, and then just to lean into the horror, I was thinking of like the Suffering. How the Suffering is brutally scary, even though you were extremely competent and effectively a super monster in that. Doesn't stop it from being terrifying. I think, on a side note, I think the Suffering is a clear example of you can be competent and the game can be scary.
Yeah.
It is so annoying every single game being like, you gotta be slow and clunky. No, you don't. Talk to the Suffering. Like,
right.
Horrifying. But yeah, I think Spawn fits good. I didn't really think too deeply because it's probably never in a million years ever going to happen. And I don't want to be sad, more sad than I already am. King Spawn's never coming out.
I just saw some stuff on that the other day.
Yeah, I guess they showed the first image of him. It looks like Spawn. I mean, put the movie out.
Hopefully.
Homie's been talking about it since. I remember seeing the first thing about that before I moved in with you.
Yeah.
That was the first time I saw someone. I was like, hey, do you know there's a Spawn movie coming out, dude? Here we are.
I was probably like, Brandyn, read fucking comics.
I was like, nerds, dog. What about you, Vaughn?
It's going to be an obvious one, but Evil Dead. Why can't we have a narratively driven, single player Evil Dead game?
I thought about Evil Dead too.
We got the PS1. We've had a couple mobile ones. We had the recent PS4, PS5 online multiplayer one, which was really good. Like, they really did their homework on that. But it is multiplayer based, requires 5 people. And it's essentially dead already. So, and the PS1 game was the closest to like an actual Evil Dead game. But in 2025, like, you could do some crazy stuff with the Deadites and like adaptability, like we talked about. Just messing with. I would want to play as Ash. Like, give me Ash, and just messing with his mind and playing off the destiny that his character is set on. You do so many cool things with that. Like, have him driving around in his car and tackling missions and rumors and yeah.
Yeah, because when you look at the Evil Dead comics too, there is an insane amount of variation. The Deadites get up to some absolute shenanigans.
Devious. They're devious.
Super neat. Like, they're fun. Scary. Like, I get like that's like kind of the difference. Like, watching it, but that's a perfect example because you look at the comics and you look at, Evil Dead, like, I guess you'd say starting Army of Darkness almost. It's like once Ash fully accepts his role as the chosen one, it's more of like him kicking ass and taking names. But like the new Evil Deads took it back to, what if you're not Ash? And obviously the games would be circled, but it's essentially the point is it is still very much scary. There's potential for fear there. So you
Even
can
Ash versus Evil Dead. They're terrifying until Ash shows up.
Shit, even Ash is scared in a lot of situations. He's like,
Oh, yeah,
fuck, dude. Like, yeah, he's funny, but it's like there's plenty of times where he's like, oh my fucking god.
Yeah, he's facing some
Yeah.
crazy stuff in that show. The electrical demons.
Are you talking about Evil Dead? What is it? Something My Boomstick? I think it was PS2, wasn't it?
Oh, you're talking about the one with the midget?
No, that was the sequel to this one. Man, what was that one called? I'm gonna look it up real quick. I played the mess out of that.
I can't remember the name of the PS2 one. I remember the PS1, like RE.
I didn't know there was a PS1.
Like
That's
a
cool.
Resident Evil style, like fixed camera. Yeah, it was pretty poor, but
Fistful of Boomstick.
Fistful of Boomstick, and then the sequel is Regeneration.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one with the little, what is he, a demon? Little demon guy?
A little deadite fucking midget. But because you're bringing that up, this one's just completely off topic. You know what game could really do for? I wouldn't even need a full remaster, but I think it would be kind of cool. Fucking Hunter, the Hunter series, like Hunter Reckoning, and those games were they're very much of that vein where you are, the badass, but you very much are in danger, and there is 100% some scary shit happening. It is very scary. So I think that's another game that could benefit from having a little TLC, a little bit of love. Honestly, I'm just in a mood for more games that let you can play with your friends. I think
in a way outside of a hero shooter.
Right. We are sorely in need of just, and I get it. There's no more couch co-op. They don't want me sitting at home with my friends, but games that give that same feeling of couch co-op, even if I'm not sitting on a couch with you.
Path of Exile 2. It has couch co-op.
Yes and no, because I feel like my only thing with that is like I feel like it's too deep to give that same sensation.
Too deep, yeah.
Yeah, it's like in order to have a couch co-op feel, it has to be something that you could pick up with your friends and just kind of start playing. Whereas like Path of Exile, you can't really just pick that up and start playing, and you all have your builds, you're getting all this shit. I'm thinking like it gives the same feel as like Hunter games gave the same feel as like the Gauntlet games if you ever played those. Yeah. So it's like you could pick that game up. That your character is what's going to dictate what you can do, and that's what you're picking based on it. If your buddy picks a character, you got to pick a different character, and just get cracking.
Yeah, bring back Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks,
dude. Yes.
Banger.
Yes.
Low key. The best Mortal Kombat game. There, I said it. I threw it out there.
High key, the best Mortal Kombat game.
It's so good, dude.
I immediately put in the cheat codes to get Scorpion, Sub-Zero, and Reptile. And
dude, on a random side note, boggles my mind. Those story modes in Mortal Kombat, I don't care what anybody says, they suck. I don't care. They're lame. No one wants to watch these 20-minute cutscenes of Johnny Cage. They're lame. They're corny. The story mode should just be Shaolin Monks. Like that style, side scroller beat 'em up, and then you get to a main character and it just turns into a Mortal Kombat fight. Wake up. What are you guys doing? It makes no sense. Ooh, let's watch these cutscenes. I don't care about this.
I wonder how much of that is the Warner Brothers overlord.
Absolutely.
Keeping them in the same formula. I'm sure they want to branch out and be like, I don't want to keep doing the same ABC of Mortal Kombat. So that'd be interesting to know who's really behind that.
I don't know. I have a lot of emotional investment in the parent-child relationship of Cassie Cage and Sonya and Johnny. So yeah, that's like I do. I want to watch that all the time. Honestly, if they could do like a Full House type of deal. And it's like featuring Jackson Briggs, and Jax like opens the door and he's like, "Oh, what's up, guys? It's Uncle Jax." It's like breaking stuff with his giant robot hands. Like, "Oh, why'd you pass the gravy? Psh, I did it again." Don't be mad because I have good ideas, Brandon.
No.
Mortal Kombat. I really hope. Yeah,
You're fired.
Yeah, I really hope that the failure of Mortal Kombat 1 sets them straight. Mortal Kombat 1, another side tangent. The outside of it being just how it is, it kind of suffers from what a lot of the culture is doing. It's too clean. It's too pretty. It's too Hollywood. That's not what Mortal Kombat is. Think of Deadly Alliance and Armageddon. They're gritty. It's got a horror vibe to it. Like, even in Mortal Kombat 11, I never did fatalities. I would always do brutalities because it stayed in engine. The minute those cutscenes pop up, it's stupid. It's like, oh, it's pre-rendered and like, look how bloody it is.
I'll admit that was like my favorite part of those. I mean, brutalities have been around for a while, but I think X.
They're so good.
X is what implemented them in that seamless way, that perfectly seamless way. Because I remember I loved just playing with the Predator, and I forget how you had to do. Obviously, you did certain attacks, but one of them was like he would just straight up slice you in half with his wrist blades. Like it had to be like you had to do so many grabs, and then that had to be the final hit, and he would just swipe, and it was clean. They would just fall in half. It's like that's sick. That's sick. That's exactly what I'm looking for.
I did have one more game, or franchise, I should say, that I think would be cool to throw in a horror genre. Star Wars. I know we've kind of gone down the route of Star Wars has been too Disney-ified, but you could have some pretty scary stuff with some like extended universe Star Wars stuff.
I mean, they did have the Stormtrooper zombies.
Yep.
They did have that. Yep. And that was pretty spooky.
This is completely foreign to me. Please tell me scary Star Wars stuff. I didn't even know this was a possibility.
Oh yeah, no, Star Wars is super horrifying. There's a bunch of races that, well, not a bunch, but there's like a handful of races that are so dangerous, like the Sith and the Jedi have to work together, and they're fucking brutal. I mean, I forget what who the Sith Lord was, where she was just eating planets. Essentially, she was like a force vampire, and she was just sucking the life out of everything and anything she came across. It's Star Wars has some scary shit in it. Genuinely scary shit, like the Wampas from was that Return of the Jedi, where Luke gets caught in the cave. Those things there's a couple like stories in the books that talks about stormtroopers and just soldiers being trapped on that planet or being stationed on that planet. And it talks about the Wampas tracking them and following them and watching them and slowly dragging them off in the middle of the night and it's like part of their lore is like how Luke's tied up on the ceiling, or like they essentially use their spit to make ice things and trap you upside down, because what they're doing is they're eating pieces of you. They don't kill you. Yeah, they want to keep you alive because that's how they prefer to eat their meals. So they eat pieces of you at a time. They'll just eat your arms, and then they'll eat your legs, and then they'll finally kill you. And that's how they eat people. Another fun thing, the Ewoks, they eat people. The little bear people. There's a whole like short story about the stormtroopers after they attacked. They're talking about pretty much the same thing, where the Ewoks, the little cute teddy bear guys, are fucking like snagging them with snares and dragging them into the trees. And it pretty much ends with a stormtrooper. He's giving a report. He gets picked up, and they're like, "Where's everybody else?" And he's like, "Dude, they fucking ate everybody else. I found pieces of them, just bloody pieces of armor and guns, and I just heard screaming and what sounded like calls in the middle of the night, and it's fucked up because people are like laughing at him and stuff. They're like, "Ha, yeah, you lost to the fucking Ewoks, ha." He's like, "You don't understand.
I'll never be okay.
What happened down there? If you're so fucking bold, Why don't you go walk through those woods in the middle of the night then? Why don't you go down there and see what I've seen?
That is
boom.
Really interesting. I never in a million years would have thought of Star Wars and horror.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you could do like you could be a Force user on either side, and you're thrown into some weird planetary situation, and you're trying to survive. And they deal with ghosts, they deal with spirits, they deal with alien races. They got a bunch of stuff you could throw at you that would be really messed up. So
it's almost like it's a beloved brand with deep, well thought out lore,
extended universe, tons of books that could be money makers, but
it's almost like people put their blood, sweat, tears, and passion into something for decades that they didn't want to go away.
Go to the park, buy stuff.
I fucking hate those people so much, dude. I hate them. I hate Disney so much. Oh my God. I never thought I'd be here. Professing my hatred for the people that made the fucking Little Mermaid. But here I am, absolutely livid about the concept of their mere existence. I hate those people so much, dude. They're just the worst. Oh my God.
It's been pretty quiet from them. I feel like I haven't seen
because they got
anything.
They've been getting their teeth kicked in because they're tremendous assholes.
I mean, they deserve it.
Yes. They're the prime example of you're not too big to fail, because make no mistake, they are bleeding like a stuck pig and have been for years. I keep up very on tabs with Disney, and yes, they have kept incredibly quiet because they've been taking, ever since Disney, bought Marvel, and they did pretty much Disney Plus, they've been bleeding money. There was talks a year and a half, 2 years ago, and it was always, the talks were out there about Apple purchasing them. They're in that position where Apple was like, we will buy you wholeheartedly. Like, we'll just buy you out. So, like I said, there's no such thing as too big to fail, because there was definitely talks of them being straight up purchased. And I'm not going to get into like the politics of it, but they have vastly changed their marketing and essentially how they're developing their future projects based on the reactions of everybody else. They're catering more to their older audience, and I mean I guess technically it would be age wise, but it's like they're going back to things, or at least they claim, steering more towards legacy style of content, essentially just giving people what they ask for. They've stopped doing the combative thing, which is fucking an asinine business model. But yeah, it's like they've stopped doing the thing where they fight their fans, and they just give fans what they want. Crazy idea. You give the consumer what they ask for, and they give you their money. Crazy dynamic, I know, but nuts.
That's the topics. But because we still have some time left, I'm going to throw a random thing at you guys. Doesn't have to be a long discussion, but what is one thing that you are looking forward to that's coming out in the future, game-wise?
Judas.
Yes, Judas is definitely on my list for sure. Resident Evil 9. They did just put up pre-orders for that, so...
I'm trying to think of something outside of the etherealness that is Judas.
What about that game that looks really, really good that you say you're not going to buy, but you're probably going to buy, of a Crimson variety?
Yeah, Crimson Desert. I'm genuinely not excited for it. I'm just watching it from afar, because on paper, that is a perfect game to me. But I'm just like, I'm so jaded at this point. I don't know who you people are. I've never heard of a Crimson nothing. I refuse to get excited over something that I've never, I don't, show me something. Prove it to me. This is where I'm at with that game.
Onimusha?
Onimusha does look really good. That game looks crazy, actually.
Prime-
I love Onimusha. I got the
Pragmata.
platinum.
Pragmata looks good. Dragon's Dogma 2 DLC. I know.
It's crazy how unfair of a shake Dragon's Dogma got, dude. I think about that all the time because I thoroughly enjoyed like the first one. I slept on the first one for years, and I finally jumped in and I was like, "The fuck am I doing? What am I doing? This game is fucking balling. This game is dope as hell."
Dude, it's so good.
Oh yeah.
What else is coming?
Wolverine.
That is probably that's at the top of my list. Wolverine's at the top.
I don't want to be that guy.
Tippity top.
I just like I find it hard for me to get super excited for that.
Stop it right now.
I'm not saying I think anything bad about it. I just find myself like not
good stuff about it.
I haven't thought any. I'm just looking at it, and I don't feel anything. I don't feel anything.
It's because you're so overwhelmed with positive feelings for it.
I love a visceral Wolverine story. He's always been one of my favorite characters. I'm a fan of any character that cuts the bullshit. And anything, and he is one of the few X-Men that's like, I am done with your shit. Absolutely done with your shit. Like if you ever seen like the X-Men animated series, there was one where they had it was like an anime style, and he is not fucking around. I guess that's the best way to put it. He is straight up murdering people, and one of the most undersold things about him, even though they bring it up, but it's like the berserker rage. Like the movies kind of depict it, and it's like you really can't tell. Like he's angry, but it's like whatever.
He's just yelling.
In the comics and in the show, when that happens, it is a completely different ballgame. He is fucking killing everyone. He is like he can't speak words. He's just snarling and making gross sounds. And
I can't wait.
Just an animal.
Oh, straight up animal. And it's like that is what I love to see.
And then when he gets the adamantium pulled out of his body, it gets even worse. Like he goes full beast all the time.
Oh yeah, he's just an absolute unhinged, rabid creature, and I love it. I love it anytime I get to see something like that.
Let me rephrase that because I got carried away with emotion. Judas is number one, then Wolverine. Just want that to be clear. Judas, I mean, it's Judas. I am looking forward to the Blood of Dawnwalker. I think that looks pretty cool. That's the vampire game made by the Witcher 3 developers that left CD Projekt Red. So they were like all the head guys who left after, I think, Cyberpunk, or maybe mid-development of Cyberpunk. And yeah, it's just an open world vampire game by the Witcher guys. So check, sold. I'm in.
Phantom Blade Zero is another one.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that does. Is that the one where he's fighting like the puppet people?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they just
that looks
released
crazy.
some gameplay on that, and that looks nuts. Like
Yeah,
if you're able to do what they're showing in that video, I can't even fathom.
That the Rules of Engagement game that you put out there.
Yeah,
I want to see more.
I hope that's good, man.
I hope that. I mean, I hope they didn't say anything for console, so I hope they alter that. But I'm a fan for. I mean, we've been talking about it. Any team-based, I'm a sucker for tactical shooters, genuine tactical shooters. But I am also a sucker for anything team-based, rolling with a solid squad and communicating and shots mattering. That's a big thing for me. I'm not going to act like I'm the nuttiest fucking quick scoper on the planet, but like one of my favorite shooters, if not my favorite shooter of all time, is Rainbow Six Vegas. And that's because I felt like every shot counted. It mattered. You could set up an ambush and it wasn't ruined because some dude's face was bulletproof.
I had one on here. What was I just looking at? Oh, this is a big one. Light No Fire. I am extremely excited for that. That's the new game made by the people that make No Man's Sky. So it's a singular planet with that endless generation that they have for the or generate. Is that the word? Generation? Generating of the universe, whatever. But they're applying that to a singular planet. So it's planet-sized Earth. And it's fantasy. So they were talking about oceans, the size of oceans, and essentially you have to come together with everybody to build boats and actually sail the oceans with randomly generated sea monsters and weather. And dude, come on. They're so funny, man. They casually drop an update that makes Starfield obsolete. Just Starfield doesn't even matter.
Starfield was obsolete upon its inception.
Yeah. And then Light No Fire was like, hey, Sea of Thieves, you don't matter no more. We're just going to take you out the game while we're at it. And just, more than likely, probably stab Elder Scrolls 6 in the heart, too.
I'm down, dude. And it's not even just for, like...
Like, they've earned the hype with that.
That's what the industry was always supposed to be. You know, any industry. That's like the whole heart of the capitalist model, dude. It's like competition. It's like I feel like so many, and I get it. I understand. Essentially, I don't know if placating is the word I want to use, but essentially bowing down to the big dogs. You know, people have straight up, and like I said, completely understandable, but people straight up avoid making games in almost in a genre entirely because another game existed. You know, I remember back the days of the Halo killers, the Call of Duty killers. And I'm not saying that's the smart way to go. If you know you don't have a comparable product, then yeah, by all means. But it's like people used to actively go after each other's throats, trying to make games to beat their game, you know, best their game, implement systems that they thought would make a overall better experience. And we got some of the best games we've ever gotten due to people trying to do that. You know, actively trying to one up each other, as opposed to being like, well, let's play it safe. Let's avoid them at all costs, especially in an era of games that last forever. You know, it's like, well, if we're, you know, still in the games as a service model era, if you don't release it, there is no right time to release it. You know, and those companies that have that stranglehold know what they're doing. They're staggering releases essentially to prolong their time as the top dog. It's like it's like the right time to break up with somebody. There's never a right time to break up with somebody. You know, it's like it's my birthday. It's with the holidays right around the corner. It's, you know, I have my cousin's bar mitzvah next week. You know, to make me go alone. It's like there's never going to be a right time. Because Call of Duty is going to release a Call of Duty, going to release a season pass, going to release a new update, going to release this, going to release a new game mode. Now they're doing a special event. It's like, have some balls, make a product that you're proud of, that you believe in, and then release it. And 9 times out of 10, if it's good, people will buy it. There, you know, and there's a level of risk you take when going up against a bigger title, but the fact of the matter is, a lot of it is because you're just releasing a subpar product. Period. Not subpar compared to that game. It's just your game wasn't really that good to begin with. So it was never considered as an alternative.
People straight up don't make Westerns because of Red Dead.
Yeah.
Straight up avoid it. As if when you make a Western, it has to be a giant open world.
Yeah.
Imagine a Western in the structure of The Last of Us. Why not? Or Uncharted? That'd be sick. A focused Western.
There was a game that came. Let me see. I think the name of it is the descriptor.
I'll name some honorable mentions while you look that up.
Yep.
007.
I was going to say that one too. Good. Yeah, that does look really good.
Control 2. I'm excited for that.
I'm cooked when that comes out.
The Max Payne remakes. That's going to be good too.
Oh man,
I was right. The name of the game is literally just like the genre name. There's a game for the PS2 called Samurai Western.
Really?
Yeah, and it was super cool. I want to say, who's the developer on this? was made by Atlas, but it was sweet. You could like dodge and deflect bullets, and there was like a combo style system, and it was dope. And it wasn't open world; it was level based. It had a story, an overall decent story, but it was fun. It was a fun game, and it was it doesn't have to be, like you said, it doesn't have to be a giant open world. It doesn't have.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry.
No, it doesn't have to be like even though technically that one is a revenge story, but like it doesn't have to be some gritty fucking character study. It's like, fuck it, dude. I showed up. They pissed me off, so I showed up with a samurai sword and pistol and handled business.
Right. 2 other honorable mentions, with it being Halloween themed. I can't believe that game Ill is real. I don't know if you guys seen anything on that.
Isn't that game been in development for forever?
Forever, and they actually released a trailer with the PlayStation logo on their website maybe a handful of months ago with actual gameplay. I guess it's real, and it looks unbelievable. In all reality, it looks like it stinks. That's how good it looks. and then the other one, which I'm really hoping gets developed, because I'm pretty sure this is a Ukrainian developer who is like actively in the thick of it, but the Sinking City 2. That I love the Sinking City. I haven't beat it, but every time I play it, I'm like, wow, this is cozy. And Sinking City 2, from what they've showed, looks great.
Greetings all. Future Vaughn here, letting all of you know past Vaughn is an idiot and pulled up YouTube Shorts by accident when he was trying to look up a game for this segment. Apologies, forgive his sins, and we hope you enjoy the show.
It looks really awesome.
It's a fucking Norm Macdonald.
Unbelievable. Dude, Norm Macdonald. Did you see that clip of him where he's like, does he say, he's like, yeah, and then I called 911. You mean 911? He's like, yeah, but 9/11 was a national tragedy. Like, well, yeah. He's like, why are you laughing? He's like, you set me up. I think it's Andy, or is it Andy Dick? Is that his name?
I mean, Andy Dick is somebody. I don't know if he's that person and what you're talking about, but
the dude from Employee of the Month who's blind. Yeah.
He just like to fuck with people. Norm Macdonald like to fuck with. That's my kind of comedy.
His delivery is unmatched. It was a national tragedy. Like, yes, it was.
Thank you for reminding me.
Well, I think we pretty much covered everything there. Any other things we want to bring up?
As of right now, nothing. We definitely need to just hopefully we have some gameplay content coming out, dropping for everybody.
Yep.
Of us just being goofy goobers. Please don't hurt my feelings too bad if I suck. It happens. Okay, it happens to the best of us.
We are also open to any topics you want to submit to us. We'll read all of them and throw them in some future shows if you comment on any of our socials: YouTube, Instagram, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. We're on there too. So
Apple Podcasts. Ooh, we fancy now.
Yeah. Potentially Amazon in the future. We'll see how that goes. But
I'm willing to sell my soul to almost anybody except for Disney. Anybody except for Disney.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Sheer principle of it.
Alrighty. That was case 3 of the Redacted Party Chat. We will see you soon. Goodbye.
Bye.